Face-to-face versus telesales. That's always a big topic.
Yeah.
And you know what's interesting? Most people would say telesales is the better option in 2024 and beyond.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Telesales is if you have enough capital for leads, because it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
And also you had to be open and be willing to put the amount of dials in. Like some agent over the phone get upset, they call 100 people and only 3 folks answer the phone call.
Just some agents? Or
A lot. a lot. With face-to-face, you can probably knock on 6 doors and at least 2 people will answer the door, and now it's come inside, I'll at least hear you out.
Yeah.
Over the phone, they can literally want the policy so bad, but because you call them, they're watching The Price is Right on TV, they're going to be upset with you.
What is up? Welcome back to the CA Power Player Podcast. I'm host Cody Askins, and we've got back in studio, man. Like, dude, I've had podcasts where I remember it popping off, helping a ton of agents, and a lot of agents saying, please bring them back. And you know what's crazy? I had Mike on recently, probably about a month or so ago, a month or two. But they said, I need both guys back. So we brought them back to Missouri in studio. Please welcome Mike Kwarteng and Jalon Talley from True Wealth.
Let's go.
What's
going on,
Cody? What's going on, man?
What's up, man?
Glad to be back on the podcast, man.
I love it, dude. I love having you guys here. I think this is your
Third.
You're second. You're behind.
You're behind.
We're going to do a solo now because you were supposed to be here last time and your flight got messed up, right?
Very true. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, you guys do an amazing job. You've built something really impressive. You help, for those wondering, like they sell life insurance. The main focus of the agency, life insurance.
Yeah.
And they help new agents get off the ground and make their first 6 figures. Now, can they do more than help just new agents? Totally,
of course.
Right? They've got a bunch of agents that are making multiple 6 figures and crushing it, right?
Yep.
Absolutely.
But when it comes to getting agents off the ground, I've been very impressed with your system.
Thank you.
Here's one of the things I want to talk through because this is an interesting hot take in our industry, okay? And I'll let you guys be the bad guys, okay? No, just kidding. It's door knock, like face-to-face versus telesales. That's always a big topic.
Yeah.
And you know what's interesting? Most people would say telesales is the better option in 2024 and beyond.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Telesales is if you have enough capital for leads, because it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
And also you had to be open and be willing to put the amount of dials in. Like some agent over the phone get upset, they call 100 people and only 3 folks answer the phone call.
Just some agents? Or?
A lot. a lot. With face-to-face, you can probably knock on 6 doors and at least 2 people will answer the door, and now it's come inside, I'll at least hear you out.
Yeah.
Over the phone, they can literally want the policy so bad, but because you call them, they're watching The Price is Right on TV, they're going to be upset with you. You know, what do you think, Jalon?
Yeah. A guy coming from field sales transitioning to phone sales, I've seen both aspects and had to experience both. And
because you now still actively do phone.
Because I actively do phone now, you know. And I'm gonna be honest, like my first in the field, you know, I was doing $25,000-$30,000 a month consecutively, working 4 days a week. And when I transitioned to phone sales, I did $5,000 my first month.
It's a big difference.
It's a big transition, and I think that a lot of agents think that phone sales is a lot easier, and it's not. And the reason why it's not easier, I mean, the sales process, everything is very similar, but you get a lot more rejection. And I think that a brand new agent, when they first start out, they're hearing, man, the life insurance business is so amazing. Okay, let me buy some leads. Let me call them. Let me call them and see if I can make $15,000 in my first month. Is it possible? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it comes with a lot more rejections on the front end than face-to-face. It comes with a lot more people not answering their phone and agents getting frustrated. Like, man, I just bought 100 leads, spent $3,000, and no one answered their phone, or a lot of people were telling me no.
Yeah.
If I spend $3,000 in face-to-face,
Yeah.
I can get a good amount of leads.
Yes.
I know at some point in time that client will be home.
Yeah.
Like
correct.
at some point in time. So
Yeah.
it's easier for me to resolve a lot more leads that I purchase face-to-face than over the phone. I still got phone sales leads that I haven't been able to resolve from 2 years ago
Yeah.
Because they may not ever answer the phone.
because they never answer
yeah,
their
yeah.
phone.
and people will say like, well, I
They
can't.
may work like nights and sleep during the day. Like who knows? You know
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
But you can scale up face to face to be, as in like you set 10, 12 appointments, 15 in one day,
Yeah.
and work the numbers in your favor. Like you can scale face to face to be very, very lucrative. I think people forget about it's not just door knocking. You can have literally 10 appointments per day, 5 days a week.
Correct.
That's 50 appointments. You're going to close on at least half of that at least. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can scale up face to face. I think as a newer agent though, if I have little money, like less than $1,000, like face to face is pretty much what you should be doing.
Yeah. I think it's two on that point. Like capital,
Yeah.
a big piece.
Yeah.
I would also say skill,
Yes.
easier. I'm with
Yes.
them.
Yeah.
You know, and overall like mental part of the game because of the amount of rejection you talk
Yeah.
about. Now you can get rejection in face to face. Yes,
Yeah.
totally. You're going to get it. All parts of insurance. Congratulations. However, if you can overcome that, and I think too, like if I look back, number one, I wish I'd had CABOOM Leads when I first started. Seriously though, I was cold calling and cold door knocking.
Wow.
And I so wish that I almost think like you always ask this question, like what would you if you had to start over as a new agent?
Yeah.
And I don't know that I would change anything because I wouldn't cold call. I would I would door knock leads.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Yeah,
if
for
I'm
sure.
new and I
Yeah.
have to be new again,
Yeah.
right? But I at least did face-to-face sales to learn that side of the business.
Yeah.
To learn the interpersonal skills
Yeah.
of actually winning someone over in person.
Right.
To then eventually transition to just phone.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah, I think that's the best route for any newer agent. Now, if you're a lady,
Sure.
then of course it's a little bit different, right?
Yeah,
Because you
yeah.
go through your experience in face-to-face is a little bit different than a male's. That's the whole reason why I transitioned into phone sales in the first place. If I wasn't thinking about the female agent, I probably would still be in the field as well.
Wow.
Just because it's so simple. All I
Yeah.
gotta do is just get in my car, turn some music on,
Yep.
show up to Miss Betty's house, knock on her door. Hey, baby, come on in. All right,
Correct.
let's sign on the dotted lines.
Yeah.
But
Because dude, there's a lot of creepy people out in the world.
a lot,
There is.
a lot.
You know?
And even as a 6'3", 220-pound guy,
Correct.
you still get those weird
Oh,
people that
sure.
reach out to you and try to do some weird stuff. But
Yeah.
it's a beautiful industry to be in, but I always was thinking about the female agent. Like, okay, cool. If I had a daughter or if my niece was in the business, would I really want to go on face to face?
Yeah.
Probably not. Mike probably has a different opinion on that, but because I know there's some beast who's in the field who are women agents.
Yeah.
But for me, I had to think about, okay, for a brand new agent, a female, what are some things that they will experience that will probably make them feel uncomfortable? And that's why I transitioned to phone sales to really learn it. And I'm gonna be honest, every female agent that I've spoke to that came to work with us, they're a lot better over the phone. Men typically are a lot better in the field, from what I've seen.
Interesting.
Because women they got more patience.
That's for sure.
They got a lot more patience, and it's easy for them to handle a lot of rejection.
Yeah.
Versus men, we're go-getters. Are there men who can be very successful with the phone? Of course, I'm doing it. There's other people that's doing it. But from what I've seen, I see a lot of men in the field, especially within their first 90 days. Oh, they're crushing it. They're knocking it out the wall.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
It's a good point too, because you think about is it phone sales sexier?
course.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, like people got into insurance because they wanted to succeed, create financial freedom, and do well.
Yeah.
Right. And so if that's true, and someone's like, you cannot make it doing face to face, I don't think that's I don't think that's true anymore either. Like
Yeah.
I still think you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, like if you guys look back, like I'm curious at this. When you first started as an agent, if you could go back and change one thing, It didn't have to do with face-to-face or telesales. Okay, and you could change one thing. Going back, what would you change?
It's so easy.
Yeah.
Like I would have started doing Medicare
for sure.
Oh, wow.
earlier.
Yeah.
Wow, I did not anticipate
Or we would have started building a team earlier.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we were already doing final expense, face-to-face, writing like 200, 300 plus apps a year. That was easy cross-sell opportunity for Medicare. We just didn't know.
Yeah.
At the time, we just didn't know about Medicare.
Wow.
We're doing FE face-to-face for almost 2 or 3 years, writing that many apps. We should be able to cross-sell Medicare on the spot, but we just didn't know. I also feel like building the team, the agency earlier in our career would have been great.
But both of those are residual
Yes.
ideas
Exactly.
to them.
Yeah. 'Cause I think as an agent, and you probably can relate, Cody, like selling insurance is great,
Yeah.
but it's so upfront money and the chargebacks. Like there's very little residuals. Like you're going to get to the point where you're third or fourth year, you're probably killing it. But man, I had to go out here again and kill it.
You have to do it every day.
You got to do it every single day, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, those are the two things that I would say too.
That's funny.
You know, I would start focusing on a retirement plan a lot faster. And the only way to retire in this business is those two ways. Either you have a big book of Medicare business and you have residuals that way, or you start having an agency that you're bringing in and focusing on building your business that way.
Those make it easier to sell too.
Exactly.
Later, potentially. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. And I forgot who was
Then
speaking.
it's really true wealth.
Exactly. I forgot who was speaking at your 8% event a couple years ago, not this past one, but the year before. And then we had a chance to speak to him, but he was talking to me, and I asked him some questions about how to be able to build a business that can sell. And he said, what you want to do is you want to focus on having multiple aspects. If you're just doing final expense, I'm not just going to want to buy your business because it's the most turnover rate from all other industries. Very good money up front.
Yeah.
But when you have you have final expense, you got Medicare, right? You probably got some ACA in there, right? Or you got some other systems and stuff in there. Now becomes a business, and now it's easier to scale and it's easier to sell when you're looking for that opportunity. So for me, if I would have to start it all over again, I would have started thinking from that aspect when I first got started in the business on how I can grow and develop an agency in one of those avenues and put all my attention in that. Because if you do that for 10 years, you're sitting pretty,
For sure.
and a lot of agents, if they come in with that mindset, they can definitely do very well.
I believe that too. What advice would you give to a new agent that wasn't anything we've talked about so far? Like if they're let's just say that they just got licensed today, hypothetically.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask you why you got licensed. What's the reason why? But honestly, finding a coach, finding a mentor that has proven results, that can take you by the hip and walk you through every step.
That's bigger than people think.
Yeah, like the agency, the comp level, that's all cool, but a mentor that can actually teach you, coach you step by step to get you where you want to be at. Obviously, the agency part now matters. Good culture. Do they have a duplicable system? Now, is it just hey, come on board and maybe sell to family and friends? That's cool. That's great. But not everyone can actually duplicate that system. So is there actually maybe leads? So find the coaches first. Yeah. Is there a lead system?
That's a big piece.
Probably number 2. 3, is there ongoing training? Is the training only from the mentor, or when the mentor goes on vacation, is there someone else there to actually give you the additional support?
That's good.
And then the 4th thing I would say is there scalability. Once you do hit like your goals, can you actually scale into doing more? Like, can you? Is there like a cap to your growth there at that agency?
For sure. Yeah, those are some good ones. I would say too, test the agency owners or the person who's bringing to you the business. Test their character a little bit too. Because
give me an example.
Yeah, so I would say like a lot of agents think that they're interviewing with the agency, right? But it's your job to interview the agencies that you're working with.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like for me, I always tell every agent that comes in and I talk to them, I say, hey, this is a 2-way streak. We're interviewing you to see if you're a good fit for our culture, and I want you to interview me to see if we're a good fit for you, right? So the questions you need to ask, you know, is, okay, cool. Well, yeah, you've been able to build a very successful business, okay, and, you know, you have agents that may be winning at a high level, right? But really test them a little bit as well and kind of see, hey, based off of everything you're sharing with me, can you tell me what exactly you are doing within the group to be able to help me get to the next level, right? Because there's a lot of agency who people who build big agencies and then they become hands off, and they just hire you, and they promise all these things, but then when you get inside, you don't speak to them no more, right? And now they're putting you with somebody else,
a different coach.
Yep.
Right. And if you have a system in place that can work with that, that's good. But the system is going to help you drive sales, but you still need that personable aspect from the person that's bringing you into the business. If you just have the system there, but you don't have the person who brought you in to help you and support you along the way, it's going to be very, very challenging. And then if there's another agency that you're speaking with, you want to ask them, okay, cool, well, you're producing a lot, okay, but do you have other people in your agency who's following your system, who's winning?
That's a great question.
You know, because if I'm producing 30,000 a month myself, but then I have 15, 20 other agents who's with me and they're not doing as well, okay, well, you're great at sales, but you're not great at coaching or teaching. And now it's not a duplicatable system because it's only working for one person.
Correct. Yeah. I love that. You think through, okay, the coach and mentorship, leads, be able to plug into a system, training, all the different things, right? There's so many agents that are also looking at some coaches, looking at mentors, looking at trainers, looking at different agencies, but they also maybe had success at car sales or real estate or whatever, solar. A lot of agents are moving over from real estate, solar, and mortgage right now. Crazy. But a lot of times too, when that happens, there's like an experience ego or like a skill ego, and for them to like come in and be coachable and listen, you know, like somebody maybe had 30 years of sales experience and they were dominating car sales forever, you know. What's your advice and experience there?
It's funny because with solar, right, majority of solar people are doing face-to-face, right?
Correct.
They come to insurance and they now want to do telesales, which is fine. But I'm like, man, you're just doing face-to-face, knocking 150 doors cold. You would imagine you had 150 leads all in one county. You could literally write 5 to 6 apps in one day, literally. So I find that disconnect there. But I get it. People want to do telesales now. It's just fine. We have both. We have agents doing both in our team. But I guess to answer your question is that it's like face to face. There's something about it that if agents realize that like it's doable, it's not sexy, but makes you a lot of money. What do you think, Jalon?
That's kind of like, is that the goal or is it not? You know, like an agent's like, I want to get this business because I want to create financial freedom. And then you're like, we'll do this. Well, is it the way you have to do it or what you get? You know, like which is it, right?
Like Jalon said, it's not forever. You start doing what makes you a lot of money, get your capital up, and then after that, because telesales is more like it's a volume game for telesales.
Yeah, for me, man, I don't care what experience you have in the business. I don't care if you did $400,000, $500,000 in car sales, $1 million in solar. That doesn't impress me at all. You get into the insurance business, it's a
totally different
sell.
World. Oh my gosh.
You know, and the number one thing that I always tell agents, like, yo, if you're not coachable or teachable, then we're not the right fit for you. You know, if I give you like a game plan on how you can be able to go out there and duplicate or, you know, make the same amount of money you were making at another industry, you had a coach when you was in solar or if you were in car sales, and you had somebody that was trained you to help you do that. It's not the same sell process when you come over to phone sales. You got to find another coach and mentor again. When I transitioned to phone sales from face to face, I had to find another coach in the same industry, but just doing it a different way because I made $5,000 my first month doing phone sales. I was doing $30,000 a month. And I had to humble myself and learn from somebody different to be able to teach me how to do phone sales properly. because it's a different sell from face-to-face versus phone sell. So if anybody that's transitioning from a new career, the beautiful thing about those people is that they have sales experience. So it's easy to be able to teach them because they already know what to expect. They already know that they're going to get denied. They already know they're going to get rejections. They know it's a numbers game. Now you just got to learn a different system. Most of them already know tonality, pacing, how to connect with their client. Okay, cool. Well, let's just follow this script here. And I promise you, in no time, you'll start to pick up a lot of sales just because you've already got the experience in another industry.
Yeah.
It is funny how we're talking about face-to-face, but our top agents in our agency right now are all over the phone.
Yeah.
So
that's
like,
a good point too.
It's like,
Yeah,
Right.
But then we're thinking about it though, right? Even for our agency, our top agents who's doing phone sales are women. Really thinking about it. And our top face-to-face agents are men, right? And they're still doing very well. Right?
That's
But
good. That's interesting.
it's
It's very interesting.
beautiful to see.
It is. Okay, so on that note, so if I think about, like you mentioned earlier, the agent should test the agency owner, which is a great idea, right? Huge nugget. Do y'all also test the agent in some unique ways before you even bring them on, maybe?
Of course.
Yeah, I'll let Mike hit on this because he handles all of our hiring and
Okay,
recruiting.
cool.
Like I said, it's a question I always ask the agent is like, why insurance? What's the reason? Do you want to do this full time or part time? What's your income goals? What are you looking like? What's your work ethic look like? What's your background in sales?
Well, what do they say to like work ethic or goals, or like what are some of the most common answers
So
you hear?
you got professional interviewers out here.
There's
man.
some good, yeah.
Yeah.
People, the funny thing about insurance is that they see videos like that you post, and people like us talk about goals and making 100,000 a year, $250,000 a year, and $500,000 a year, and they come on the calls with me and say, "Hey, Mike, I want to make $250,000 this year, my first year as an agent." Like, yeah, that's cool, and it's doable, but they don't understand.
Super rare.
Yeah, they don't understand
But
that the
doable.
first 90 days as a new agent is the most challenging time.
It's brutal.
And if you can get through that, you may actually make $250,000 that year.
Sure.
But they need to understand that first 90 days, you may, like your sister, like make less than $5,000.
Correct.
But it's the constant repetition that you now are going to now have, and the sky's the limit.
Here's what's funny too, and I'm all about dreaming big and
Yeah.
like having big goals and all
Yeah.
that, right? That's awesome. But if you think about it, the average, like the people that are like, I want to make $250,000. If you said, okay, great, what did you make the last year?
Yeah.
And they say, oh, 41,000, 58,000, 72,000.
Yeah,
Wouldn't 80, 90, 100 still be incredible?
exactly.
You know, like 250, shoot for it. I'm all
Yeah.
for it. Like
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get anybody to lower their goals,
yeah.
but that is frustrating me when someone's like, nah, dude, I was homeless, or I made 19 grand,
Right.
Yeah.
you know, and I want to make 500.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, dude, I also like,
Yeah.
you know, want to like,
Like when we bring agents on to our team that are already working a current full-time job, like my goal is your first month is to show you how to earn what you're making right now, your current full-time job, in less amount of hours, or work the same amount of hours and maybe make an additional $1,000 that month.
yeah,
And then in 6 months, I want to show you how to double that. So if you're making $5,000 now, your current job, in the next 6 months, I want to show you how to double that. But your first couple months,
Exactly.
like I want to show you how to make what you're making now,
Correct.
but do it in less amount of hours so you can spend more time with your family.
yep.
Does that make sense? So
Yeah,
kind of like
that's
reverse
good.
engineer.
And even if it's like, okay, they're making, you know, $5,000 a month, like
Yeah.
whatever, even if they can make 2,500
Exactly.
in month 2,
Yes.
like that's cool.
Exactly.
You know, it's a
Yeah.
good start.
Yeah.
Right. What's your thoughts on people on well, I'm curious of y'all's thoughts on agents starting part-time, because you asked about that. You mentioned that in your recruiting pitch a second ago. I remember I was like, what was it? Oh, it was a part-time or full-time?
Part-time. What do you think, man?
We don't hire part-time. I'm going to be honest.
At all.
And
Yeah,
the only time we will hire somebody part-time is if they have at least 30 hours they could work
Okay.
in insurance.
So I think Is this going to happen? No. But I think every person on the planet that has a full-time job could still work 30 hours if they wanted to.
Yes.
If
On
they
top
wanted
of
to.
it.
Exactly.
Okay.
But it's just a challenge of them
That's-
actually doing
That's
it.
a great point. So it's not like, hey, we don't take part-time. It's like we take part-time that tries to at least be close to full-time.
Close to
Yeah,
full-time.
exactly.
Yeah, but if I got somebody that comes in and says, hey, you know, I'm working 50 hours a week at my job, and I say, okay, cool, well, how many hours are you willing to work in your insurance business? Like, you just told me you want to make $10,000 in insurance.
Yeah.
I said, okay, cool. How many hours do you actually want to work your insurance business? Well, man, I'll probably dial like 2 hours a day, or probably dial
5 or 10 hours a week.
only the weekends, right? That's not going to cut it, you know, because especially for phone sales, a lot of people think they can just pick up the phone and dial for 2 hours and they're going to make a whole bunch of sales. In reality, that's not true, right? You need at least 4 to 5 strong power hours where you can really be intentional and lock in, build some momentum, and then that's when the sales really start to happen, right? And I think that a lot of agents think that they can only dial for an hour and get the same results as someone who's full-time, right? I had a recruiting call like 3 months ago, and the lady came to me and she was like, yeah, I want to make $35,000 in a month. I said, okay, perfect. We can help you with that. And I said, are you working a full-time job right now? She said, yes. I said, okay, cool. How many hours are you working there now? She said about 50 hours a week. I said, perfect. How many hours do you want to work your insurance business? She said, well, I only want to work it about 5 hours a week. I said, got it. I said, okay, how much money are you working? How much money are you making at your current job? She's around 4,000. I said, okay, you're working 50 hours a week at your current job. You're making
10 times
$4,000
less, but I want to make 10 times more.
and you want to work less in the business but make 10 times more. I said it doesn't work that way. But then she was like, nobody ever broke it down to me and explained it that way. So she wasn't offended by it.
Yeah.
But nobody is being honest with people.
They're not. They're just hiring them.
They're just
I like
hiring
that
them.
you guys do that too.
Yeah, like I want to be honest with people. Like I
Yeah.
want to set the expectation up front. Like I don't want to
That's
sugarcoat anything, and then they start looking at me and Mike and be like, well, you told me I can make this amount of money in this amount of time. No.
Yeah.
From the very jump, I told you, hey, this is what's required.
Yeah.
Here's the expectations. And this is what's required in order for you to hit that goal. Are you willing to do that or are you not?
And I think even above the hours, it's about what are you doing those hours. We had a call just now. We had a call yesterday. One of our agents said every call he makes, he's making $22 per dial. Just based off his numbers, based off his sales, based off his dials he makes per month, per day. Like he's making every call he makes, he's making $22 per dial.
That's crazy.
And so I guess,
$100, $2,200.
yeah, exactly. Based off his sales he's doing each month and income wise. So when we tell agents, hey, work 9 hours a day, we're really telling them, hey, work 9 hours, but your goal is to have, if you're doing face to face, 20 knocks per day, or 4 presentations per day, or 1 to 2 sales per day. Over the phone, $300 per day, or 4 presentations per day, or 1 to 2 sales per day. Like one of those things need to be hit, you know, to like actually consider an actual good day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I find it exciting, man. Like the business really started getting fun for me when I started knowing my numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if I'm door knocking, okay, cool. How much money am I actually making per week? Okay, if I'm making $5,000 a week, let's say I'm working 5 days a week, that's $1,000 a day. Okay, even if I have 20 door knocks and I knock 20 houses, that means I'm making $50 per door
Yeah.
that I knock.
Yeah.
Okay, if I have
Dude.
4 presentations, okay, cool. Yeah, only one told me yes, but I made $250 per presentation.
Yeah.
Over the phone. Okay, cool. Same metrics. If I'm working 5 days a week, let's say I make $5,000. Okay, if I make 200 dials
Yeah.
a day,
Yeah.
I can make that's $5 per dial.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
of course I'm picking up the phone every single time.
Yeah.
And when you break it down for like that, it makes you want to stay on the phone. It makes you want to keep going simply because you know every single activity that you're doing in your business is making you money.
Yeah.
Correct.
Because we're in a commission-based only industry.
Yeah.
So you got to make things predictable. So you got to have the numbers there to make things now predictable for yourself. You know, like you said before on one of your videos, you know, the number one trait as an agent, trait an agent can have is being optimistic.
Yeah.
And knowing your numbers makes you more optimistic now. So if I just hit my numbers, I'm bound to get this result.
Right.
And now it takes the whole guessing out of commission base. It makes it just pretty much, I got to go out there every single day, hit my numbers, based off my numbers from last month. If I do this here, I should get the X amount of result.
Yeah, and that's beautiful too, because, you know, when my mentor years ago showed me his calendar, he said, hey, here's my calendar, run this play.
Yeah.
That takes me back to what I was talking about earlier. Okay, test your mentors or coaches' character and see exactly what they did. Are they just telling you something just to say, hey, go out and do it, but they never did it before? Like, any agent that comes into our agency or just in general, if they want to look at my calendar and my journal, I have all my calendars for the last 4 or 5 years with all my activity in it. So if you want to know exactly what I did, here you go.
That's so much value in there. That's cool.
So much. Like, down to the door knock, down to how many contacts, how many presentations, down to my goal setting, everything in there. I can show you exactly what I did to hit my goal, so it's not a guessing game. I can show you exactly what I did to help you go out there and achieve your goal.
That's sick.
If you want to do exactly what I did, follow this exact script.
Right.
If you want to double it, all right, double the activity.
Yeah.
It's really that simple.
Yeah.
And I think there's too many gurus out here in the insurance space who are coaching and teaching, but they haven't really done it on a high level before.
Yep.
You know,
There's a lot of that.
there's a lot of that happening.
More now than ever, too,
Yeah.
for whatever reason. I honestly think it's Dylan's fault. I think we created this wave of people that just all get on video and act like they've made $1 billion before, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's so easy, too, in the social media world to just talk such a big game.
For sure.
You know?
For sure.
So simple. So easy.
No, honestly.
Yeah. Man, there's so many different angles and places I could go with this. Like, there's been so much gold in this for new agents too. If they think about, like, okay, because I think one of the things I love the most too that, okay, so let's just say you mentioned $50 a door knock earlier, right? Hypothetically, if an agent's like, how to make $1,000 a day, dude, he just told you go knock on 20 doors a day, and you'll probably make. Is that fair?
Yeah.
You'll probably make, if it's new leads,
Yeah.
and you knock on 20 doors a day, you'll make $1,000 a day.
Yeah.
On average.
Yeah.
Most over the course of time, right? It's not going to be every day you make $1,000. Exactly. Some days it's zero. Some days it's $600. Some days it's $2,400. Right?
Exactly.
But if an agent's like, hey, what's the playbook? It's actually a great title, by the way. How to make $1,000 a day as a new life insurance agent. It's like, dude, that's an easy playbook. Now, are they going to want to buy leads? I don't know. Hopefully, if you do, CABOOMleads.com.
Kaboom.
Are they going to want to door knock in that example? I don't know.
Yeah.
Are they going to knock 20 a day, 100 a week, 400 a month? I don't know, right? But is the playbook available, and is it laid out, and is it there for that? And I liked how you guys knew your numbers for both as well. Yeah. It's like, dude, no matter which path you want to take, we're going to help you find true wealth.
Exactly. There it is.
You know?
Yes, sir.
Simple.
Sick, bro.
I love that, man.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Where'd the name come from?
Man, we were just sitting there because we were roommates at one point.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
You guys aren't roommates anymore?
No,
No.
man.
You guys miss living together or no?
Nah.
Nah.
Good.
You got your own pads now?
But
We're
it was
good.
cool, man. So
Yeah.
another thing for new agents is finding an accountability partner. So in the beginning, we were both each other's accountability partners. So we never let each other go home back to our house with no sales. Like, we are always like, man, it's 6 o'clock. Jalon, I got one. Do you have one yet? No, you don't got one yet. So you got to keep going.
Was it always you? No.
So you got to keep going until you get one. Or like you kind of just, because I think as an agent, you can really put yourself in isolation, and that's where failure can happen. But success always happens in communities. So if you put yourself in a community of having someone to speak to, hey man, I got this objection today. What would you have done differently? Hey, I would have done this differently.
Yeah.
Boom. So in the beginning, we were each other's accountability partners, which helped it out a ton.
Even
a ton.
to
That's
this,
awesome.
I'm so competitive, man, and like
Yeah.
I saw Jalon do in my third month as an agent. I saw Jalon do 29,000 in sales. Like, dang, he has the same leads as me. He's working the same script as me. I think I look better than him. Like how did he do 29,000?
how he always
You know what I
throws that in
mean?
there.
Like how did that happen?
Every time he speaks, that comes out at some point.
Every time. You know.
What was the what month was it?
So this is March of 2020, COVID.
Oh my God.
We're still knocking on
We were
doors
still
of
knocking
COVID.
doors in COVID.
In COVID.
In COVID.
The beginning.
Beginning.
Did
Made
you
the most amount of money in COVID.
knocking doors?
Knocking doors.
Well, guess what? Nobody else.
Nobody
is.
was. Like
And some people are okay hanging out on the porch or out by the car or
for
whatever.
sure,
You know,
for
some
sure.
people also are like, "Come in," probably. You know, I
Exactly.
mean, who
having
knows?
presentations through the glass, you know,
Yeah.
literally closing deals right then and there.
Dude, I
You
love
know,
that.
like there was nobody else on the highways at the time. I'm just driving to Cincinnati 2 hours. Only person that was on the highways, the cop. He didn't care. He was probably sleeping, you know, but we
Probably.
was just driving, showed up to the client's house and we presented, we closed. Like it was a great time for
That's-
face-to-face sales,
Wow.
honestly.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, telesales took off too,
I
but
did, yeah.
I mean, good news is, dude, life insurance as an example took off either way.
It
Like
did,
just
yeah.
as a piece of the industry,
Yeah.
it skyrocketed.
Of course.
Yeah,
you know.
but the name True Wealth, we wanted to build true wealth always in our clients' lives, and also build true wealth in our agents' lives. So it was a pretty fitting name, and
It's a great
we
name,
didn't
by
want
the
to
way.
we didn't want to put it in a box with a true insurance agents. No, like we want to make it to where like agents come on our team, because now we have people doing annuities and Medicare and stuff like that. So we want to get general enough to where like it can be able to speak
Encompass
to other people.
Everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So our primary thing when it comes to our agency, you know, True Wealth, is not just how much money you're making, right? It's for us. Okay, cool. When an agent comes into our agency, we are doing everything that can be able to really benefit that agent, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We're going to help you with your faith. We're going to help you with your finances. We're going to help you with your family. We're going to help you with your health, right? And then we're going to help you with your charitable and your contributions, right? Because I believe if you're blessed with a lot of money in this business, you can print money.
Mm-hmm.
Every single dollar isn't meant for you. You got to be able to give back in order to get more.
True.
All right. So in those 5 aspects, those are like the 5 pillars that we stand on, and those are things that we do. We don't just preach it, but we do it, right? And we're showing it, and we're being examples of that. And we want to help agents build true wealth in all those aspects. And that's kind of where, you know, True Wealth stands currently.
Let's go, dude. Let's go.
Yeah.
I love it. That's a great brand name, by the way. Like,
Of
I think
course.
I think this brand and this group is going to the moon, man. Like, I'm so impressed by it. I'm serious.
And man, we appreciate you, man. Honestly, you've been there for the whole entire ride, and
True.
you know, you've been big help, man. Honestly,
Thanks, man. We first met at the Cincinnati Roadshow, dude, because of our buddy Damon.
Isn't
man.
that crazy, man?
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool.
One road show
Yeah.
changed everything for us.
Yes.
Literally, like that's funny. Your
Literally.
road show, Cincinnati, back in 2021.
Yeah. I was just talking about this with John.
Like our business
That is
has
wild.
increased tremendously since that road show.
That's
I
awesome.
literally was
man.
just talking about this with John. You know, I was on his podcast, you know, a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
And, you know, we was just talking about, you know, how we was having a conversation. And he was just standing there with me and Mike and just talking for like
Yeah.
hours. I'm like, man, like your agency's doing like what, 240 million
A year.
a year?
Yeah.
You're spending time at an 8% road show talking to little old me at the time.
It's cool.
And that's the type of people you can meet at those events just by showing up to 8%.
Yeah.
And there's people who genuinely wants to help you, but they don't want anything in return.
Yeah.
Correct.
And those are the people that you get at those events, man. So
Thanks, bro.
any person who is missing at the 8% events, make sure you get to the next one.
You're literally one conversation away from having a breakthrough in your business.
Mm.
Just one conversation,
Just one.
and that could be at the 8% Nation event.
Just saying.
Just saying.
I love that. I wasn't interrupting at all. I'm like, that's a great plug. Great plug. Oh, man. Dude, if they want to learn more and they're like, man, I'm not where I want to be and I need help, what should they do? Where should they go?
So you can go into our Instagram page at TRUU Wealth, YouTube True Wealth, my IG Mike Kwarteng, your IG.
Jalon Talley.
Last time you gave your phone number out. You doing that again this time?
Probably won't do that this time.
Okay, cool.
But if they DM you, they may get it.
If they DM me, you can get me. Yeah.
Okay,
Our website, wearetruewealth.com. So many ways.
I love it, dude. Well,
Yeah.
appreciate you both. Jalen and Mike, thanks for being back.
Likewise.
Of course. Thank you, man.
Okay, appreciate you, gents. Also, they are from Columbus, so they flew all the way here just to hang out in studio. Give them some love in the comments. True Wealth. Love these dudes. They do an amazing job anytime we get together, and we can throw them on the podcast. Also, if you made it this far in the podcast, congratulations. You can go to KABOOMLeads.com. You can use coupon code YouTube to get 10% off your very first order and get kaboomed. What is up? Have an amazing rest of your day. Thanks for listening to the podcast, and we'll see you on the next episode. Adios. Hey, if you enjoyed this, I got another one you're going to love. It's right there. Click on it. See you in there. I'm so excited for today's CA Power Player podcast. I'm your host, Cody Askins. We got a special guest. He is back on the channel talking about how to sell life insurance from home. Here's what I love about this person. Yeah, I'm telling you, this will be one of the best.